Hey, what's up guys, the Lone Top 10s here with another awesome Top 10 production just for you. Television series, variety shows, cartoons, and even commercials censored or banned content that networks or advertisers deemed inappropriate for the audiences in the 1950s and 1960s, and in one instance in the 1980s. At the time, such censorship, much of which was directed at sensuality, sexuality, bodily functions, and recreational drug use, may have seemed reasonable to the censors at least. In retrospect, many people today are apt to be surprised by TV networks' past efforts to shield their viewers from shared beds, an actress's navel, pregnancy both as a word and as a condition, toilets, political parody, song lyrics, Elvis Presley's great gyrating pelvis, women who would dare to model brassieres, and men who wore briefs and risque cartoons. So, anyway, here are the 10 surprising things once banned from TV broadcast. So, here's what we're going to start off with. Number 10, shared beds. Now, I've already said shared beds, but here's why. During the 1950s and 1960s, sex was considered a private matter, and even a suggestion of sexual relations between married couples was regarded as very inappropriate. Networks went to rather extreme measures to prevent even the slightest hint of sexuality, even in marriage. On TV shows, married couples such as the Dick Van Dyke Shows, Rob and Laura Petrie, who is played by Dick Van Dyke and married Tyler Moore, were forced to sleep in widely separated twin beds to make sure that none of that actually happened. Number 9, Barbara Eden's navel, Jeannie Smoke, and double entendres. Alright, now, the TV situational comedy I Dream of Jeannie starred Barbara Eden as a genie and Larry Hagman as astronaut Tony Nelson, who frees from her bottle, was broadcast from 1965 to 1970. Eden wore a costume comprised of a hat and attached veil, a short-ribbed vest, a pink bra top, loose-fitting harem pants with a wide, tight red waistband, and pointed-toe slippers. The outfit was sexy, but not as sexy as the original costume, which in addition to Eden's mid-selection showed the actress's navel. Now, Eden recalls there was a meeting between the show's producer George Scalater and NBC executives concerning Scalater's desire to premiere my navel. He told Eden he had never seen so many suits sitting around a table in his life discussing someone's anatomy. The executives next Eden's navel, which explains the costume's wide waistband, which covers the objectionable umbilicus. Ironically, in one episode, when Jeannie and Tony visit the beach, Eden wears a one-piece swimsuit as a bevy of bikini-clad women covered about navels on display. Eden's navel was not the only thing NBC censored. According to the actress, executives also require her pants be lined with silk to prevent her legs from showing through the transparent fabric. Jeannie transformed into smoke whenever she entered or exited her bottle. To prevent the impression she may have spent the night with Tony, network censors banned Jeannie Smoke from disappearing under Captain Nelson's bedroom door. Executives made the cast and crew reshoot one episode because the Jeannie Smoke appeared under Tony's door. The smoke must never spend the night in the bedroom of a man, they decreed. If the smoke was shown disappearing under Tony's door, it had to be shown emerging again. Jeannie also had to be careful not to introduce double entendres when she made such comments to Tony as, and I am going to please thee very much, to avoid a possible salacious interpretation of her words. Executives suggested after delivering this line of dialogue, Eden adding allusion to jewels or money to make it a little bit more family friendly. Number 8, pregnancy and well, quote-unquote, pregnancy. In the mid-20th century, not only were married couples obliged to sleep in separate beds, but wives could not be pregnant on TV shows. In fact, neither they, their husbands, nor anyone else was even allowed to say the word. On the classic sitcom I Love Lucy, starring Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, they got around the network's prohibition by referring to Lucy Ricardo, the character Ball played, as insensitive, which is French for pregnant, and please excuse my French pronunciation because it may be sounded wrong. The censors approved, and Lucy is Enceinte, a special third season episode, announced Lucy's pregnancy. As Ricky is performing in his nightclub, the Coco Cabana, Lucy arrives, handing a note to the doorman, who delivers it to Ricky. Now, the note informs him that a couple is about to have a blessed event now, and asks him to sing We're Having a Baby, My Baby and Me. Now, Ricky agrees, but decides to first find out who the lucky couple was. As he sings Rock-a-Bye Baby, he walks from table to table, asking seated couples whether it is they who are having the blessed event. Finally, he comes to Lucy, seated alone at one of the tables, and she nods, indicating that it is she who is pregnant. At first, her message doesn't register with him, but when it does, he has her join him on the stage as he sings a song. Alright, we're going to head on to number 7 now with toilets. Alright, now, the initial episode of the situation comedy Leave It to Beaver from 1957 to 1963 almost didn't air because of a toilet. Beaver and his older brother Wally, Beaver was played by Jerry Mathers, and his older brother Wally was played by Tony Dow. They planned to keep a turtle in the toilet tank of the bathroom of their bedroom. At that time, you not only couldn't show a toilet, because obviously nobody wants toilet humor, you couldn't show a bathroom on TV. It was prohibited, Mathers explained. When the show's producers agreed to show only the back of the toilet tank, network censors decided to make an exception to their rule prohibiting broadcasts featuring toilets, and Leave It to Beaver earned the distinction of becoming the first sitcom ever to show a bathroom. Alright, we're going to head on to number 6 now with political parody. Now, Bob Dylan was scheduled to appear on the May 12th, 1963 edition of The Ed Sullivan Show, an immensely popular variety show. He was then mostly unknown to general audiences at the time. A year before, Time magazine referred to him as a promising young hobo with long tumbling hair and a nasal sound. Dylan had auditioned for the show with a parody sung from the point of view of a paranoid John Birch Society member who saw communists everywhere, including his chimney, toilet, and glove box. Although Sullivan approved the performance, a CBS executive considered the song too controversial when he happened to hear it during a dress rehearsal, objecting to lyrics such as, "Now Eisenhower is a Russian spy, Lincoln, Jefferson, and the Roosevelt guy. To my knowledge, there's just one man there that's really a true American, George Lincoln Rockwell, who founded the American Nazi Party." Alright, was given a ultimatum, sing a different song, or change the lyrics. Instead, he ought not to appear on the show at all, which, yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone wanted to see Bob Dylan because he's so popular, but not at the time, unfortunately. Number 5, reference to recreational drug use. Of course, it's dangerous. Nobody should have that, right? Well, you shouldn't have it on TV either, because it'll be TVMA at the time, which, unfortunately, there was no TVMA, so that makes sense, right? Now, network censors also objected to the Ed Sullivan Show's plan to feature The Doors, a rock group fronted by lead singer Jim Morrison. The band had selected a song called Light My Fire, which contained the line, "Girl, we couldn't get much higher," fearing the show's audience would interpret the line in the context of the song's title to refer to smoking weed. They demanded Morrison change the lyric to "Girl, we couldn't get much better." Morrison agreed to the substitution, but when he sang the song on live TV, he retained the original line. As a result, the Doors were banned from appearing again on the show, because it's obvious that nobody wants to hear about weed, right? Number 4, One Night Stands and Elvis Pelvis. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely crazy. Now, 2 other performers whose acts met with censors' disapproval and demands for change were the Rolling Stones and Elvis Presley. Like the Doors, they also performed on The Ed Sullivan Show, the former on January 15th, 1967, and the latter on September 9th, 1956. Mick Jagger, the lead singer for the Rolling Stones, was asked to change the line, "Let's spend the night together," to "Let's spend some time together." Sullivan was clear that his demand was not just a suggestion. Either the song goes or you go, he told them. Jagger complied, but he made his feelings about the song's revision known by rolling his eyes every time he sang the substituted lyric. Elvis Presley's lyrics were tame, but his locomotion was wild. He gyrated his hips with such seductive abandon that the show's producers demanded the Ed Sullivan Show camera operators film him only above the waist. Even without the sensational adulations of his hips, Presley wooed his audience, and their thunderous screams helped sell $1 million worth of pre-order sales for his hit single Love Me Tender. The singer made 2 additional appearances on the show, each of which were full-body performances. Number 3, Cartoon Sensuality. Now, Max Fleischer's cartoon character, Flapper Betty Boop, originally appeared on the big screen, but she made her TV debut in the 1950s. By then, most of the censorship issues involved her have been thrashed out between Motion Picture Production Code, which is also known as Hays Code, and that's representatives, and Fleischer Studios, whose artists created her features. Now, the code punished, and I repeat, punished Betty for her short hemlines and garter for her sex appeal, and for her representation of liberation and fun. As a result, her hemlines were lengthened, her garter removed, and she began wearing pencil skirts and collars. She also became a nanny, as she translated to a responsible maternal mother, you know. Despite her makeover, Betty continued to run afoul of TV censors, as Gerald Golden, former vault manager of the UCLA Film and Television Archives, points out. Old Man of the Mountain, a 1933 Betty Boop feature, was not shown on TV, probably because it shows her stripped down to her underwear before she shinies up a tree and then gets her butt licked at one point. Ugh. Instead, there's a gap in the film before Betty appears again, fully clothed. Number 2, cartoon, quote-unquote, nudity. Now, if TV censors balked at sensuality, they sure aren't about to show nudity, and Betty Boop wasn't the only character to be banned from broadcast as a result of her nakedness. Another cartoon nudist, Warner Brothers' Tweety Bird, was told to put some clothes, or rather feathers, on. Alright, in his first cartoon, Tweety is pink, but censors said he looked naked, so animator Bob Clampett said he was repainted yellow, so he appeared to have feathers. So, pretty interesting, right? Number 1, we're finally going to wrap up this list with brassiere and briefs models. Now, even TV commercials did not escape censorship. Curiously, mannequins were actually allowed to model bras on the public airways, but until 1987, models are not. On May 4th of that year, NBC aired the first woman to wear a brassiere, the Playtex Crusher Heart Bra. According to the Playtex vice chairman Hercules Pisados, it was about time. I don't see why it should be taboo to show a woman in a bra. Now, he said, it's much more effective in showing the product's attributes than a mannequin. Chairman Edward H. Meyer of Gray Advertising Corporation, the company producing the ads, agreed. We've had a whole generation of kids who grew up thinking that when a woman takes off her blouse, she turns into a mannequin, he said. Apparently, Fruit of the Loom executives believe what was good for the goose was good for the gander because they plan to follow suit. Airing an advertising campaign shown a male model wearing briefs. Gray Advertising Corporation also produced these ads. Network executives attributed viewers' acceptance of more permissive attitudes towards such advertising to a change in the public's taste, while industry analysts cited the growing acceptance of condom advertising by some stations as influence that may have nudged the door open. Well, alright guys, but that's pretty much about it. If you have any more surprising things that weren't banned from TV broadcasts, either because it's deemed inappropriate or something like that, just let me know in the comments down below. Alright, now I could have reminded you, this is not really for children, so be sure to take it seriously. I should have said that at the beginning of the video, but whatever. At least you all listen to it. Alright guys, that's pretty much about it. Hopefully you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe to Let Alone Top 10s, like this video, and see you guys next time in another awesome video. Take care, everyone.